You know what? I should just turn on the microphone. This is my first time doing a stream like this. And it's probably my first time speaking English in a stream also. Speaking English in a stream also. Hey, OJ, long time no see. Disclaimer again, I'm Taiwanese and English is not my mother tongue, so if my English isn't that fluent, don't judge me. Yeah, I've been talking. This is my first time talking in a stream. You can say something about the tier list or give me your ideas to help me rank them. We can discuss about this. This is why I want to wait for more people. Sure. So, we got 6 people here. I guess that's enough to start. And I think we will start things off with the easiest one, which is 17. Like, 17 is definitely going into F tier. I don't really, there's no really need of explanation. It's just a terrible hole. Launch rolls everywhere, and it's a lot luck based. And when there's strong headwind, you can't even reach the green. You can't even reach the green with a full driver. Nah, shut up. Nowhere near S tier. F. 17 is F. For fuck's sake. Now, I guess I'll start with hole 1. So, I guess I will judge the holes by, first is the difficulty, like how difficult it is to get eagles or to get consistent birdies, and then I'll judge them by how well are they designed. Like some holes are extremely hard, but is actually well designed, like hole 8 in my opinion. Another one, 8 is difficult, but it is well designed. Like it is skill based, but like 20 is difficult, yet it is bad designed. A lot of times a birdie is almost impossible. So I'll also judge them by how well are they designed. And the last thing I'll judge them is how important they are in the game. This is the most important factor in my opinion. Like, how important it is when this hole pops up in a random 9 game. So, so now let's rank hole 1. Hole 1 is a very easy hole. Like almost every newbie can get a birdie on it, and for cracked players, they often go for eagles, which makes hole 1 very important. In that is not 12. That's not 12. That's 17. Hole 1, it is very important in a ranked 9 hole, in my opinion, because it provides a big chance of crack players making an eagle. So, although it's not very difficult, so as Charles said, I'll put it in B tier. Yeah. We'll get to 12. We'll eventually get to 12. Now it's hole 2. I'll say that hole 2 is another mediocre hole. Is it? the vocabulary that I'm looking for. Hole 2 is like a very mid hole, just like hole 1. It is fairly easy, but it also provides a great chance of getting a hole in 1. So I guess I'll put it in B tier also, but I'll put it in front of hole 1 because it is slightly more difficult since the green is like lower than a tee box. Yeah, don't. We'll eventually get to 12 light. And now it's hole 3. So hole 3. I'm not really sure about hole 3. It is a par 5. You can't reach the green in true shots in most cases. But when like you're playing global and there's really strong wind. So when there's really strong wind and the condition is okay, you can get on the green and true shots. But often you still can't make max tailwind hole 3. Yeah, that's my point. And when the condition doesn't allow us to get on the green and true shots, it's still like an easy ego chance. It tests the player's skill of short chipping. So, yeah, high skill pace, but yeah, I think it's like between A and B. I think we'll get back to hole 3 later. Now let's look at hole 4. Hole 4 is like in my opinion, the hardest par 3 besides 8 and 17. Like 8 and 17 is really hard for hole in 1. The hole in 1 happens most often on 2, 4, 11, and 13, and 4 is the hardest of all of them. No, hole 4 is actually pretty well designed in my opinion, especially the back pins. The back pins, the back pins, it tests a lot of skills. Hole 4 sucks. It is one of the holes that I said that it's hard, but it is well designed. So, but let me think about it. You know what? I changed my mind. Only the front pins of 4 is good, so I'll put it in C. Yeah, only front pins are easy to make, and like middle right pin, it's almost impossible to make. Yeah. Hole 2 and B, are we mad? Yeah. Of course, the game needs some difficulty. Now, it's hole 5. Hole 5 is actually a pretty good hole. Like just like hole 3, you can't reach the green in 2 shots like in most cases. But with tailwind and good aim, you can make it on the green and putt for maybe a long putt for an eagle. So, I think I'll put hole 5 in A actually, because it tests like short chipping. It tests the player's short chipping skills, and when there's tailwind, it makes a good test of like game knowledge, how like where you should aim your tee shots, and how much power you need and how much adjustment you need to make a good approach to get an eagle. So I'll say that hole 5 is it's not difficult, and not a lot of chokes happen. Wait, Oh wait, there's a tree in front. There's a tree in the middle of fairway. B. There's a tree in the middle of the fairway. Fuck that tree. Now it's hole 6. Well, hole 6, despite it being difficult, I actually like hole 6 a lot. Most of the came from global games because a lot of newbies can't get a birdie on hole 6, but I can. And and to be honest, it's a really hard hole, but is it well designed? I'm not sure if it's well designed. But it surely is a really interesting hole. Like, there is 3 routes. You can either go to the right for the right pins, or go to the left rough for the 2 left pins, and maybe go to the middle with specific pins, like middle pin, something like that. It's very interesting, and it benefits a lot. It benefits me a lot in global games, so I'll put it in A tier. I know a lot of people hate hole 6. Yeah, like, I know a lot of people hate hole 6, but it's just hard, not like well designed or impossible. Yeah, exactly. Unlike 19 or 20, a lot of conditions are impossible on 19 or 20, like max crosswind, or in 20 max headwind. How is that even possible? So, is back rights? Yeah, exactly. But front left, F tier. Front left is one of the worst pins. But the other pins are meh, like, okay, I can cope with it. So, now it's time for hole 7. Hole 7 is like a straight S for me. Hole 7 is so good. You can either like go to the little, like this little part of the fairway here and use a 3-iron to get on the green, or hit it to the front here with tailwind, with good aim, and make a good approach. And or you can hit it to the right. So so first of all, there are 3 routes in this game, and I mean in this course, and I think it plays a pretty important role in a ranked game, because it is hard to get. It is one of the harder holes. Like, it's hard to get a birdie, but also not that hard once you know the strat. And some pins are really difficult to get an eagle, but some pins, once you know the strat, you can get eagles consistently. Yeah. So I like hole 7 a lot. Like, there are so many strats in hole 7, and even I don't know all of them. Even I'm still like experimenting some strats on hole 7. So I'll put hole 7 in S tier. One of the best holes in the game. So now, time for hole 8. Hole 8. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I love it because how much skill you need to get good at it, and some pins are really interesting. Like, hole 8, middle right pin is one of my favorite pins in the entire game. But front left is like as worse as hole 6 front left pin. But it's hole 8. It is difficult, but it's not terrible. It is difficult because it is very precise, not because it's bad designed. And you can basically get a birdie in every condition. Get a putts birdie in every condition. So hole 8, it tests the player's skill of like how good he can get, like how good he can hit a shot, how good he can get a birdie, and and also a slight chance to get a hole in one. Yeah, good point. Back right pin and front left are very bad pins because they are located on a hill. Who in the world would want to put a hole on a hill? Oh, and a lot of micro putts happen on hole 8. This one, everyone agrees, right? Yeah, no one pops up at hole in ones like hole. Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. Yes, that's a very good point. So that's why I say I hate it and I love it at the same time. Well, you know what? I think I put it in B, but like here. Yeah. Better than hole 1, but worse than hole 2. I think I'll put it here. It's like, yeah, a B. And now for hole 9. Hole 9 is, I don't really know what to say about hole 9. To me, it sort of just exists in the game. It's almost impossible to get a chip in eagle when it's almost impossible to get a chip in eagle from like without crossing the lake. And F. It's almost impossible to get an eagle without crossing the lake, and sometimes crossing the lake is really risky. Once you fell in the water, basically the game is over for you. Yeah, micros on 9 are worse. That's valid as fuck. Yeah, that is the worst par 5. But I think I'll give it a chance. I'll put it behind hole 4 because it is bad, but not that bad. Yeah, I don't really like hole 9. I put it behind hole 4 because I put it behind 4 because I know that there are worse holes than 9. So I mean, in my heart, there are worse holes than 9. So I'll put it like just before F tier. But maybe I'll move it to F later. After we judge so many holes, I think it's time to get back to hole 3. So hole 3, it's like a little bit worse version of hole 5, right? What are your opinions? I think that 3 is just like a slightly worse version of hole 5. LB 9 or hole in 116. And a 9 LB is definitely easier. A 9 LB is easier. Because the wind isn't that crazy on 3. The winds are crazier on 5 usually. Maybe. And yes, I do like 3 more than 5. You make more chips on 3 than 5. You know what? I think I'll actually put hole 3 to A tier and in front of hole 6. Think global though. I don't really play global that much, so yeah, I'll just leave it there. Now, let's get to hole 10. Hole 10, hole 10 is basically like the classic version of hole 1. But hole 10 is a bit harder to chip than hole 1. Because the front pins Wait, front pins. Yeah, front middle. Think about front middle. That fringe can launch you to the back of the green. Like, it's basically another version of hole 1, but there is a fringe that can launch you to space. So I put it in C, but like, yeah, exactly. C. I'll put it in C, but in front of hole 4, because I make more chips on 10 than hole in ones on 4. Yeah. Now 11. 11 is actually a hole I like a lot. 10 is better than hole 1. Well, you can I'll put the tier maker I'll put this tier maker website, like a link. I'll put this link in the server later so everyone can make their own tier list. So now back to 11. Oh, hi Duke. Back to 11. 11 is a pretty interesting hole. Like, a lot of hole ones happen, and every pin got different strats. Sometimes you use irons, sometimes spoons are more optimal, and my first hole in one is my first hole in one is on 11. Yes, my first hole in one is on 11 with like 29 mile per hour crosswind. It's like almost a year ago, and 11 is also the first hole that I discovered a wind strat. It's the first hole that I discovered I can use green squares to calculate wind. I like 11 a lot, and 11 is a really well designed hole. So I think I'll put it in S, but behind 7. Yeah, I think I'll put it in S, but behind 7. Wait, let me think about it. I really love 11. I really love 11 a lot. Let me think about it. Yeah, 11 goes in front of hole 7. Like that. Yeah. Everyone love 11. It's a pretty nice hole that gives a challenge on a hole in one. Why is there water though? To make the hole prettier, I think. Oh yeah, and you can hit the ball on the Spoko Square logo in the middle of the lake, and the ball will just slide on it, and it's pretty fun to look at. Quick swim, yeah, quick swim. And now it's 12. 12 is a pretty nice hole. Like, when you see it in a random 9 seed, you will definitely be very happy because you get a free eagle. And albatrosses on 12 is, I think albatrosses on 12 is the hardest among 12, 14, and 18. Its bounce on the fairway is more unpredictable. You know what? If nothing happens, if nothing weird is wrong with hole 12, I would have put it in like in front the very front of A tier. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that is really rare, but can really screw you big times in global. So everyone knows that there are T differences in the game, right? When there is a really rare occurrence in global when there is 17 mile per hour. When it is 17 mile per hour headwind, like when you face to the shortcut and it's 17 mile per hour headwind, when the headwind is 17 mile per hour, the lefties can get through the shortcut on the fairway, but the right tees cannot. which is completely luck based. You can't do nothing about it. When the game decides to screw like that, you can't do anything about it. I've lost global game. I've lost two global games and about like 1.3 bars just because I got bad RNG and got the right T in front of left instead of left T. Yeah. So that is one of the rarest cases in the game where it's basically just completely luck based, 100%. You can't do anything about it. Even if you hit full driver, you'll still go on the rough or maybe go OB if you're on right T. So because of that, I think I'll put it like to the very end of A tier. Yeah, the T difference is too much, so I'll put it in the last of A tier. If the T differences are smaller, I would have put it in front of the A or even S. Now for 13. 13 is one of the easiest par threes in the game, in my opinion, and a lot of hole in ones happen on 13. The only pin I don't like on 13 is middle left, I think. Middle left. It's a pretty awkward position where both spooning and backspin is pretty precise. But that's and front middle. These are the two pins that I don't like. But I'll say that 13 is like I'll say 13 is like the second easiest hole to get a hole in one. Easiest for me is hole 2 for sure. 2, then 13, 11, 4. Yeah. So oh yeah, on CT yeah, the CTPs on hole 13 are pretty reasonable. So and there's pretty there I don't think that there is any weird thing that can happen on 13. Power glitches don't occur, and it's just a pretty nice, chilling par 3. So, I guess I'll put it... I think it's either the very front of A or bottom of the S. Or bottom of F tier. S tier. I mean S. Not F. S. Let me think about it. I think I'll put it in front of hole 7. Yeah, I think I'll put it in front of hole 7. I really like 13 a lot, but not as much as 11. Now 14. 14, I would say it's both well designed and bad designed. Yeah, it's both. I'll say it's both well designed and bad designed. For cracked players, the bad design part is definitely the fact that you can get 22 mile per hour right to left wind, which is the worst wind on 14 you can get. But albatrosses on 14 are so satisfying. Launch spin, and the ball slides in the hole at the perfect speed. It's just so satisfying. And even with driver from even if you go around with the driver and you get an albatross, it's still so satisfying. Another satisfying thing is when you bounce over the bunker perfectly onto the green, maybe even making it. So for 14, the hardest part of it is definitely the shortcut. it takes a lot of it takes a lot of time to master, and it takes a lot of time to master. And if you fail, you can have a great chance of failing behind. So it's like a high risk, high reward thing. And there isn't really a lot of bad things going on with 14, except that pine tree, except this little pine tree that screwed me a lot of times. So I guess I'll put it in front of 12. You know what? In front of 6. In front of 6. Because because I make a lot more hole outs on 14 than 6. Yeah, like that. Wait, let me think about it more. Hmm. Yeah, like that. I'll put it in A and second place in A. Now 15. 15 is a 15 is a pretty mid hole. Like there's nothing really exciting going on with it, and it's also not a terrible hole. Yeah, it's also not a terrible hole. And when you go to the right part of the rough and make a chip in, it's very satisfying. Yeah, but like Leo said, there's nothing really exciting going on with 15. And I really hate 15, like right, front right or middle right. Front right or front middle pin. These two pins are my two least favorite pins on a par 4. Yeah, hard to get an eagle. The only hole I can get like really consistent eagles is, I think, back left. That's the only pin. A back left with 0 wind is basically the only condition I can get consistent eagle. Yeah, it's just not. It's not very important. It's not hard to get a birdie, and eagles are very hard. So it's not that hard to get a birdie, and eagles are very hard. So the difference between low skill players and high skill players will be shrunk. So I guess I'll put it at C and behind 10 and 4. Behind 10 and 4. Yeah, like that. 15, then 9. Still better than 9. 9 is just way more unpredictable than 15 if you want to make an eagle. Now 16. 16 is a pretty good hole. I'll say that it's a pretty good hole. In most conditions, you can go either not wait. In some conditions, you can go right shortcut, and in some conditions, you can get left shortcut, and in some impossible conditions, you can still go to the left part and not take any shortcuts. It's also a hole with 3 roots, and 16 is where like some of the holes that requires the most game knowledge and experience. You need a lot of experience to get through either 2 shortcuts. So I think I like 16 a lot, and I often make eagles on 16 on a good pace of 18 holes. which makes the pace even better. It's like one of the easiest holes to eagle if you get the right condition. So I think I'll put it. Oh yeah, and in global, a lot of newbies will just hit OB, and it's really funny to look at. Hit OB then reach limit. There's always one blue rank player that there's always one blue rank player that don't know how to take a shortcut and decides to take the shortcut and hit it until he reaches a limit, which is really funny to look at. Gives me a little chuckle. I think I'll put it. Let me think about it. I think I'll put it in front of 14 and behind 3. Yeah, I'm a villain. Ha. Funny. Yeah, so I'll put it in a high A. Now it's 18. 18, I don't think that there's any. I don't think that there's any disagreements that 18 is where the most LBs happen. '18 is the best for LBs. And its green is shaped like a pyramid, which is pretty funny. But sometimes you can get really bad winds, especially like 31 or 33 headwind. And you can only go right. You can only go to the right island, and maybe sometimes even filling in the water. So I think 18. It is not bad, but eagles are pretty easy. But let me think about it. 12 is better for. I make a lot more LBs on 18 than 12, and I know wins on 18 better than 12, but it's more of a personal preference. But yeah, the green sometimes acts really weird. Like you think that it'll roll a lot to the left, but in fact there's a small little hill that tilts to the right, and you actually just have to dead aim it. It's really weird. Let's compare it to some other holes. Do I like hole 1 better or 18 better? To be honest, if hole 1 pops up in global or pops up in a random 9, I'll be happier than if an 18 pops up. Like, if I want to win a game, because hole 1 provides a better chance of attacking, and same with hole 10. And it's really a big disappointment when you can't go to the left island on 18, which is like almost a 50-50 chance. So I guess I'll put it in front of 15, but behind 4. I think this is a good place for 18. Now that we've finished all the 18 holes, let's get to the probably the 3 worst holes in the entire game, and the three holes that are the most hated among the community. I think the 3 special holes. Now for 19, C. Front F. Fuck 19. 19, it's the trees. Why? What are the green keepers thinking? when they planted the trees. Like a tree here, a tree there. Where should I hit my ball? Come on. And you can get like impossible strong crosswinds on 19. And it just makes it not fun at all. It's not fun at all. And basically no one can get a chip in eagle. Only if the condition is very good or someone's really lucky. Yeah, wait. I think 19 is better than 20, which is why I put 20 like here. I think here. I still like 20 more than, wait, no. It's so hard. Which one I hate more? 17 or 20, which one is worse? Uh, 17 or 20. 17 is a lot luck based, while 20 isn't actually better because tee positions can affect how you play the hole. The left tees are pretty much screwed. But only screwed on specific conditions, I think. Which one I hate more, 20 or 17? Yeah, 20. 20 is definitely my least favorite hole in the entire game. Because of how much impossible conditions you can get. And the greens are like even worse. It's like a giant with huge titties and fell on the ground with the face with the whole body facing downwards, and the two tits like formed the green. Yeah, at least you can chip for birdie every time, but 20 sometimes it's impossible. Like 20 is just a lot worse than 17. Yeah. The only interesting thing about 20 is that you can hit the driver through a tree and get a good approach. That's basically the only interesting thing about 20. And strong headwind basically means no one can get a birdie, and it can really screw you big times if you're on a good pace. Yeah, I said that. Now, 21. 21 is, to me, 21 is definitely the best one out of the three special holes. It is basically a normal golf course, except the green. Yeah, giant titties. Exactly. Like 21 is definitely the best one, the best special hole, and it's basically a normal golf course. Everything is good about it except the green. So that means two things. One thing is that you need a lot of putting skill because the greens are like a lot very impossible. The greens are the green is basically impossible to putt if you don't get a good approach. But that also means you have to control your power well to get a good approach. If you can control your power perfectly every time, it's basically a free birdie every time. Yeah. I don't think 21 is actually that bad. So I think but also you don't get eagles on it very often. But eagles on 21 are some of the most satisfying eagles in the entire game. Everyone agrees on. I think everyone will agree on this. 21 eagle is eagles on 21 is like some of the most satisfying eagles in the entire game. So, it's definitely not F, and I actually don't hate 21 that much. I mean, I don't hate it at all, but I also don't really like it, which sounds like a B tier. But let me think about it. I think I'll put it in C tier, in front of 18, behind 18, but in front of 15, because getting consistent birdies on 21 is harder than 15, which makes it not so filling and not so meaningless. And 21 actually helped me a lot in some games, because I'm pretty consistent at 21. I'm pretty consistent at 21, and sometimes my opponent will choke and give me a one-stroke lead. I actually benefit a lot from 21. And my first win against Ricardo was because I made a 21 eagle and he choked a par. That's how I beated Ricardo like 9 months or 10 months ago, which is like a really important memory for me. So I think 21 definitely isn't the best hole in the game. It's actually worse than a lot of holes, but I think this place is pretty good for it. So that's it. This is my tier list of all 21 Nintendo Switch Sports Golf courses. Let me take a screenshot of it. Hey. Yep. And again, I will send the link of this tier list maker to the server, so everyone can make their own golf tier list. Actually, I'll do it right now, because why not? I'll do it right now. I'll put it in my stream, in the chat of my stream and in the server. I'll set it in general chat. Dude, that code is goated. That code is goated. Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the stream. Thanks for joining, and I'm excited to see your tier list, your golf course tier lists. Yeah, see you guys. Thanks for joining. It is really fun making this list, and a lot of fun chatting with you guys. So, I'll see you in the next stream. Bye bye.